WHO HD, the local news leader. This is Channel 13 News at 10.
The officers involved in a fatal shootout earlier this month won't face charges, but there are still questions about their actions. Good evening, I'm Erin Kiernan.
And I'm Dan Winters. Thank you for joining us tonight. That standoff on April 17th in Iowa Falls lasted just a few moments.
It came to an end with a hail of gunfire and the suspect killed. The Attorney General's office says the incident started when Leighton Fitz's girlfriend called police. She told them he had assaulted her and was planning to hurt himself. When police arrived on scene, Fitz barricaded himself inside. Then he took to Facebook to post threats against the officers outside and to let them know he was heavily armed. Eventually, Fitz came outside wearing a bulletproof vest and armed with 2 guns and a knife. Police ordered him to surrender, but they say he reached for a gun. That's when officers opened fire, striking Fitz multiple times, killing him. 5 officers were put on administrative leave after the shooting. Today, they were cleared of wrongdoing and they will return to duty. While the officers didn't act illegally, some say they acted recklessly during the standoff and put each other's lives in jeopardy. Aaron Brillbeck has that story. It's first on 13.
Beer cans marked the spot where 25-year-old Leighton Fitz died after he was shot by police. Officers say he came out this door with a gun in one hand, so they were forced to shoot him. But he apparently wasn't the only one who was armed and dangerous. Take a look at the cell phone video. It shows state troopers and Iowa Falls police opening fire on Fitz back on April 17th, killing him. Police say Fitz never fired a shot at them, but take a closer look at this video again. You can see rounds hitting near the officer's feet, and this video shows where rounds struck the building behind state troopers. If Fitz didn't fire any rounds and there weren't any other shooters, what you're seeing in this video is cops shooting at cops, missing each other by, in some cases, just inches. Andrew Bonine shot the cell phone video and saw Fitz get gunned down.
He was like this because I know he threw his cell phone at the police, and he had his hands in like this, and he was digging for something, I think, and the police said, pull your hands out, so he goes like this. And his hands get up right about here, and then they start shooting him.
He's smoking a cigarette. They told him, and he got done with his cigarette, threw his phone at him, and they told him to pull his hands out of his pocket, put his hands up, and he put his hands up and they fired at him. I would guess after just a couple rounds, he hit the ground, and he continued firing.
According to the Attorney General's office, there were 3 officers positioned near this pickup truck, 6 across the street from Fitz, and another 4 behind the home, and witnesses say on the stairs between the home and the garage. So when police opened fire, they were essentially shooting at each other, with Fitz caught in the middle.
There was shot coming from both directions and firing at each other, really. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking, but...
Combat veteran and NRA firearms instructor Zach Fox doesn't know what they were thinking either. We showed him the video.
Well, you could have cops shooting other cops. So in that case, you know, I saw a couple rounds that were near hits. So I mean, they're lucky. They're lucky to be alive.
Fox says when state police noticed other officers coming up the stairs, they should have spread out so there was no chance of officers hitting officers.
That's what your main goal is safety. You have to know your target and what is beyond it. If you don't, it all goes out the window.
Fox says the number of shots fired by police is also disturbing. He's guessing 40 to 50 rounds. Now, when we slow down this video, you can see Fitz is hit and falls to the ground. But police continue firing a full 6 seconds after Fitz is down. Family members tell us Fitz was struck 17 times.
From the time it started shooting, his left leg went first, and his body twisted, and he fell on his chest with his back up.
After they shot him, the cops were running around. I mean, they were high-fiving each other, hugging each other, congratulating. It was like a party.
Bradley Mayland is Fitz's stepbrother. He has the keychain that Fitz had in his pocket when he was shot. It has at least 3 bullet holes in it.
He was on the ground when they were still shooting on him. That doesn't make sense to me. He's on the ground. Why are you still firing? If this ain't a video game, you know, they can just, hey, we can unload all our weapons on this. We finally get a situation to unload all of our weapons. It just doesn't make sense that, why does it have to be my brother that's laying there on the cold concrete?
With officers just feet from his brother, Mayland wonders why they didn't just use some non-lethal way of arresting him, like a taser or tackling him.
That's less than 15 feet. There's 2 there, there's 3 on the steps. His attention was pointed towards the road. What's it take for those 5 officers to come up, grab him, take him to the ground?
Instead, Malin says his brother was gunned down, murdered, he says, by police.
It was pretty much a firing squad. That's my brother, you know, he's the only real role model I had growing up from when I was a little kid, for being my stepbrother. He taught me pretty much everything I know today. And I still can't believe what's going on today.
After Fitz was shot, police say they found a loaded rifle by his front door and a high-powered rifle upstairs near a window. Investigators believe Fitz may have been planning a gun battle with police. A spokesman for the Iowa State Patrol and the chief of the Iowa Falls Police Department both turned down a request for a comment on this story involving police crossfire, saying that they're waiting for the results of an Iowa DCI investigation.
Aaron, meantime, back to the Attorney General's investigation and report on this. It says that 68 shots were fired at Fitz.
Right, 68 shots fired at Fitz, and according to the family, he was only hit 17 times, so that means they missed 51 times.
Okay, we'll have to see what that DCI report says. Thanks, Aaron.